Good evening, everybody. This video is in preparation for tomorrow, Thursday's assignment. The assignment can be found in Common Lit. It is an informational text, and it has to do with the idea of altruism. Today's video is going to be a bit of a lecture-based, something that I would do in the classroom to start off this selection if we were to be reading it in class. Because as I said in my last video, I want these tutorials to be more than just informative. I want them to be educational, and I want this to be a true virtual classroom experience. So I want to talk a little bit about what altruism is in preparation for your reading of the text that is in Common Lit. So first and foremost, altruism in the upper left-hand corner here is defined and is the principle or practice of unselfish concern for or devotion to the welfare of others. In very simple terms, it means that these are people who like to do good things for other people for the sake of being good. They don't want anything in return, and all I want to do is help out society and the world around them. These altruistic actions can be very localized. They're things you can do in your neighborhood, or they can be very global as well, which the examples that I have surrounded me, the images, will be examples of that. The first one is this guy over here, Bill Gates. He and his wife have established educational foundations specifically targeting our urban youth, and they have donated hundreds of millions of dollars because they're very passionate about education, and they're very passionate about helping those that don't necessarily have the means to help themselves. Now, someone like him, a almost billionaire, could keep that money for himself, go on yachts, explore the world, but he's not doing that. He's donating his money, his time, and his efforts so that he and his wife can help create and bring education to those less fortunate. They don't want anything in return. He makes zero money. It's all giving. The next one I want to talk about is Mahatma Gandhi. He was a leader of civil disobedience in India when they were fighting against the British occupation. And his whole idea was to peacefully protest what he thought was not right going on in India. Now, was he a rich man? No. But he did sacrifice himself. And because he couldn't get money, he gave himself to the cause, and with great sacrifice as well. He would go on hunger strikes and starve himself for days and weeks to make sure that he would bring attention to causes that were very close to his heart and that he wanted to make the world a better place. Specifically, he wanted to do so peacefully and without violence. And he was very successful in doing that. The next one in the bottom right, we should all recognize her, Oprah. We know that she's very famous for her show, and at the end of her shows, giving out things like, you get a car, you get a car. And on the show, yes, she does do that to the audience members. However, she also is very altruistic with the various philanthropies that she has in her own life, helping out hundreds of millions of people in society, not only America, but specifically countries like Africa, or continents rather, like Africa, where she would dedicate her time and her money to helping those that are less fortunate. Again, asking nothing in return. And finally, the most the most current rather, messed my words up there. The most current example that I can find has to do with what's going on now with this COVID-19. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a news article from CNN where we have NBA players are donating money to cover the salaries of hourly workers amid suspension of the season. And it's not just the NBA that is doing this. The NHL is doing this, Major League Baseball, I believe the MLS as well. And these basketball players got together and said, hey, listen, we're millionaires. We play a game. The people that work at these stadiums who serve the popcorn, serve drinks, serve hot dogs, clean the stadium, they don't have a job now because their season is over. They don't have a job, they can't get a paycheck. And so these NBA players came together and they're taking the money out of their own pockets and they are compensating these individuals for their salary. And they're not giving them just a little bit of money, they're covering their entire salaries, which is amazing. So when you think about it, and you think how massive the NBA is, and Major League Baseball, and NHL, there's hundreds of thousands of people that these players are unselfishly helping because they know and they think and believe that it is just the right thing to do. For example, Zion Williams. This guy's great. He's young. I believe he's only 19. This is his first year in the NBA, and he's leading the charge here by saying, hey, listen, I'm giving away as much money as I can to help these people out. And that's what altruism is all about. So when you read the article, think about what these people have done, think about the examples that I've shared with you tonight, and I look forward to reading your reflections in particular after you do your writing. And what I'm going to do is I'll pick one or two reflections that I find the most interesting, and I'm going to post them in Google Classroom, and then we can have a little online discussion about those things to kind of further dive into these texts. So thank you for watching. We will see you all tomorrow, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say about altruism.